Hello and welcome to Single in the City. My name is Justin Gilbert and I am joined by my brilliantly effervescent and beautiful co-hosts, Genesis Moore and Tiara Berry.
Hey.
How you doing today, ladies?
Doing good.
I'm feeling effervescent.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just bubbling over, if you will. Listen, I'm gonna get right into it. This is one of my favorite segments of the show, Asking for a Friend.
Yes.
And the question is, what was you ladies' favorite moment or topic from this season 6?
It's so hard to pick just one. I mean, we've had episode after episode doing and talking about amazing things. But I think for me, my favorite had to be the red flags versus green flags.
Yeah, that was dope.
That was a really good one.
Because I'm all interactive. So
Yeah, that was
sometimes
fun.
I'm red, sometimes I'm green. What's red and green? Is that blue? I don't know the colors, but I was both sometimes.
Definitely both. Gosh, I know for me personally, the How to Be Single episode I thought gave a lot of good free game, to anyone that's currently on the market and looking to do singlehood well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that. I would actually say my favorite was last episode
Okay.
because I felt like we really got to dive into some deep things when it came to talking about all the church taboos
Yes.
on sex and dating. And I love to be taboo, so
Yeah, we
get it
went
out
deep.
there.
No, that's so good. Let me see. We're going from there.
Well, I mean, I know for me the best part about actually what we did with this season is like, look at it, guys. We are 3, young millennial individuals living in a major city. For those of you at home that don't know, we actually tape in Atlanta, Georgia, right? And we have really managed to not only survive being single,
Yes.
but also help other people.
Thrive being single. We are here singling it out, date here and there, but I think we are all very much, still single people and still figuring ourselves out while in the dating scene. So I think for me, I'm enjoying it. So I'm enjoying singledom. I've embraced it.
Indeed.
I don't know if you guys have too.
I love the journey. Like I feel like it's that evolution. It's and it's really the time to really focus on ourselves without the added difficulty of family life and all the other business that comes along with marriage and serious relationships,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And I will say, I did really enjoy you being here this season, Justin.
Yes.
Because, last season, it was us girls.
It was just
and although we had a great
us.
time,
Yeah.
it was really good and very nice to get a male perspective.
Oh yeah.
And to, even though you said some things that was a little, whatever.
I mean, the toxicity was at an all-time high, which is why
From
I'm
who?
here.
I'm trying
That's
to
why
figure
I
it
was
out.
brought
Who
in.
was toxic?
That's why I was brought in to help dial things back and balance some things out. You know what I'm saying?
Ladies,
Love
remember
to be the
this.
equalizer.
Love it.
Thank
It's
you all for having me.
It's not them, it's us, right?
Always.
You said it. She said it. That's
Absolutely not. Well, look, I actually have, made a lot of friends this season, right?
You
Yes.
did.
And out of all of my friends that I made, I wouldn't say hey to all my friends at home.
friends.
That have been writing in for the season.
Yes.
Okay. But my favorite section about what we do is asking for a friend because I feel like these are like questions that a lot of people have, right?
absolutely.
So the latest question from one of my friends that shall remain nameless is, she asked me this, right? Because she was like, you're doing a show about being single, so let me ask you. I said, okay, girl, come on. What are your core values when it comes to dating? Like, what are your core values when it comes to what you're looking for in another person? And I was like, And she was like, and if you don't have any, then why? I
What
said,
are your
oh,
core values?
not the call out.
Listen.
Well, that's a loaded question for the last episode of the season.
I
But
know,
way to
right?
go out with a bang.
Really is.
That's what she said. I didn't make it up, so thanks, girl.
So this is more so like, what are we looking for?
Yeah, like what are the things that are non-negotiables for you? This is how she explained it to me. Like, what are like the deal breakers? That's what she called them.
Okay.
You know, like things that I can deal with this, but I can't deal with that. I can kind of go here, but I'm not going to really go there. So what were those things? I told her for me, having a relationship with God is like a must-have for me.
Absolutely.
Right? Even if it is, or a desire to have a relationship with God. Because like, you know, sometimes like, we go to a church where our pastor is phenomenal and
Yes, he
can
is.
talk about different things and make you think and
Yes.
be cool at the same time. But not everybody has that. Not everybody
Right.
grew up with that, right? So I told her, you know, even if it's something where they're working at it, that's like my number one core value. But I'm interested to hear what you guys are.
That's a great place to start. Certainly a relationship with God. For me, I like to be able to gauge their ability to maintain relationships. So I'm curious to ask questions
That's
like,
a good one.
how many old friends do you have? You know what I'm saying? Because that really speaks to their ability to maintain things and have conflict and
Relationship
whatever.
with your mama.
That's
Oh,
important.
man,
Family
that is
dynamics.
so, especially for women.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Men too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
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 But I
Ooh,
feel
and
like
don't
Says a
have
lot.
daddy
talk
issues
about, you know.
because that's a whole other ballgame.
I mean, don't we all?
Well,
I
when you
mean,
put it like that, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Everybody's
when I
family.
think about,
Right.
okay, what they say, God is my father. You know
Right,
how they
right,
do,
right.
Lord.
I think for me, in terms of core values, I always like to say you can only meet someone as deeply as you've met yourself already. So I'm always interested in how someone's outlook on the world is based off of how they feel about themselves. So what are they willing to put up with? What are they doing day to day in terms of habits and how they treat others. So I think for me, I love to see someone who seems very in tune with who they are, what they want, that go-getter personality, but someone who is also very aware of just not only the world around them, but themselves internally.
Yeah, that's huge.
That reflective piece is.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Like, do you
Yeah.
know you? Before you try to get to know me, do you know you?
You know,
Well, yeah. And it's like, even though we're always constantly like learning ourselves, it's just like, how well are you trying to get to know you? You know, I actually read something the other day that was just like, you can't look to find a home in other people. You have to look to find the home within yourself.
Yep.
And so when you feel at peace, you know, in your home within yourself, how that reflects to other people and also affects the type of relationships that you had, your relationships with God. It's just like such a overarching thing. That was really good.
absolutely. So, in speaking of self-reflection and getting a sense of how connected someone is, if they're taking the deep dives, I like to ask this question for profiling purposes.
Okay.
I like to ask the ladies, what do you like most about yourself?
You first.
But you don't have to answer unless you want to. It's strictly for profiling purposes. And I can tell you, I don't want to put you on the spot.
Oh, now he's profiling.
I've always been put on the spot, and I don't fold under pressure.
Okay.
Girl.
So,
Become that diamond. We see you.
I think
Sparkle.
for me, what I love most about myself is my tenacity. Like, I think that you can throw anything at me, and I just won't. I'll bend, but
Yeah.
I'm not breaking.
Oh, come
Yeah.
on.
Period.
on.
So I think that that's a very attractive quality. I'm a
agree.
really good pivoter, you know, make it work by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can be exhausting though, you know. I don't always know when to walk away, so I think that has, you know, a pros to it and the cons to it.
Yeah.
But I think overall my tenacity is my best trait.
I think that is really dope.
I think that is very dope too. I love that.
Okay.
We patting ourselves on the back
Right.
on the
Okay.
last
I'm
episode
sitting up
of
here, I was
season
going
6.
shallow. My smile. I'm kidding. I will say something kind of along those lines, but I think we kind of like share in that that I can figure things out. You know, like I'm
resourceful.
always land on my feet.
Yeah.
Like I'm very resourceful. I know how to. If somebody tells me, no, this door is closed, I'm going down the window. If the window is closed, I'm breaking it with a rock. You know, like, but not to the point where it's like I'm forcing anything.
Yes.
I have learned to allow things just to flow to me.
Right.
But I do think I'm resourceful. But actually, you know what? It just came to me. My best quality, I would say, would be I am able to be very reflective.
That's
And not
amazing.
a lot of people are like able to be, I guess, kind of admit when they're wrong. But I do try to put myself in other people's shoes too.
Yes.
And say, how would this make somebody else feel if
Aw,
I did that? Or
yeah.
maybe I could have said it better. Maybe I could have, like, you know, framed it better.
Yeah.
So I do think that that's something that I'm learning, even as I'm getting older, to really appreciate about myself, because not everybody considers other people.
Yeah, considerate.
Yeah.
Thoughtful.
That's
I put two, but
Considerate, thoughtful,
I got
kind.
there.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
oh, well, thanks.
And
I
you
was like,
you
oh,
believe
okay.
you believe in abundance too as well. You live an
Exactly.
abundant life.
Yes.
I do.
Listen, fellas, I think it's important to note parenthetically here that they didn't say anything physical. That's a red flag. If a woman says that one of the things that she enjoys most about herself is something physical,
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I said,
run. So,
oh.
you ladies, effervescent. Look at you.
Effervescent. What
We try
about
to
you?
be
Do you
deep.
have one?
I do. My work ethic and attention to detail.
Wow, that's good. You've
Yeah.
thought about this, yeah.
Yeah, I get things done well.
You are very detail oriented.
Yeah.
I've known that. I think we've all brought some great qualities to our own lives and to the table and to the audience. So
Indeed.
Yeah.
awesome. Well, guys, we will be right back with Single in the City.
You know, we're going to talk about something that you hear more and more about today. Seems like you hear about it more than we ever did before, and that's dementia.
It's not just old folks' disease. It's not just old folks need to worry about it. Anyone can get dementia. You can get it as, you know, we have people that's in their 20s and 30s that have been diagnosed with it. And then also, if you don't have dementia, you may be a family caregiver or care partner, and you're still impacted, and you still need to know about the disease so you can be able to better support your family or friend that is living with dementia.
I mean, y'all didn't know the answer to this, but John P. Key is your name, but what does the P stand for?
The P actually stands for Prince. Dr. Scott and Brian Scott, years ago when I signed my first deal, they ran with it and started the Prince of Gospel, but that's where it came from. Lizzie and John named me John Prince Key.
All right, everybody, welcome back to our season finale of Single in the City. Once again, I'm your host, Genesis Moore, with Justin Gilbert and Miss Tiara Berry. So, guys, we've been doing a lot of talking this season, right?
Absolutely.
And this has been really fun to kind of have like this round table about being single
Yeah.
and things, right? But you know, one thing that I did notice going through this season that I had to kind of ask myself is, how well do I know what I want from another person, right? And I guess sometimes you like just think about it and you're just like, I want to like the Sierra Russell Wilson thing, you know, that's what I want, you know? And then you like start diving deeper.
What's the prayer, Sierra?
Right, give me the prayer. But after you get done with all of that, you kind of have to see what works for you,
Yeah.
what you really like, what you really desire based off of your strengths and your weaknesses, right? And so I've kind of been going through that, I mean, honestly, very, very recently. And I want to know, do you guys kind of know what you want? And if you came to that, like, how'd you figure that out?
You gonna go?
I absolutely know what I want, but getting to that place was a process. I've been actually sewing into the relational compartment of myself and trying to enrich myself. So I've been reading different materials about different ways of approaching relationships and even marriage. And I found a couple of resources that have just proven to be invaluable, you know?
Well,
Oh, that's
enlighten
awesome.
us, please.
I'm saying, like,
I
what are
mean,
they?
you holding out. Let us know.
Now
You
you
using the
have
big
the prayer
terms
and
and the
never said
vocabulary.
anything.
What you got?
Give us the prayer.
Okay. So one of the books that has been extremely insightful is the 8 Dates book
Okay.
by Doctors John and Julie Gottman and Doug and
Write
Rachel
that down.
Abrams. The 8 Dates book. And it basically, it gives a list of 8 topics that based on our individual definitions and feelings surrounding these topics can really bring to light whether or not long-term success is probable in a marriage.
Okay.
So the 8 topics are first, trust and commitment.
Okay.
What does this mean to you? What do you think about it? Secondly, addressing conflict. How do you handle, you know what I'm saying, a little east-west in your relationship? Thirdly, sex and intimacy. You know what I'm saying? What you like, what you're into. Fourthly, work and money. How you want your
That's a tricky
finances
one.
run in that situation. What your habits are. You know what I'm saying? What you grew up seeing. Fifth, family. What does family mean to you? Do you want kids? These are all conversations that you could see, you know, the benefit in having them. Sixth, fun and adventure. What are your individual ideas of fun and adventure? What are your individual
That's a good one. I haven't thought
ideas
about that in a while.
of fun and adventure? Seventh, growth and spirituality. You know what I'm saying? And eighth, and finally, dreams. What are your dreams? So having conversations, defining and discussing these 8 different things, you know, can really let you know where you're at with a person and if y'all are
I
right
like
for
those.
each other.
And you kind of brought up some that I hadn't ever heard before. One in particular being the fun and adventure, because everybody's idea of fun isn't monolithic. You know,
Come
like
on.
some people aren't adventurous. Some people don't even want to get on a plane. That's the problem for me, you know, or when
Yeah.
you go on vacation and they want to take naps and get up late. And it's like, I know we didn't pay to come all the way to Mexico and you want to lay in the bed till 2 o'clock. No, I want to do excursion after excursion after excursion.
Yeah.
So that one in particular just made me think about like that fun and adventure. It's a large piece of compatibility that I don't think a lot of us consider when we start dating.
Facts.
I agree. I even would put in there, can you travel together?
Okay.
Because you really want to know who you with, take them out of town.
That's facts.
We going domestic first.
Right? Talk about that money piece. They be like, I ain't paying for that. I'm like, we on vacation. You're supposed to have a little bit of more spending money here.
See?
It's different for everybody.
It's the planning, and you're definitely right. Like, you don't know somebody until you have traveled with them, because issues are inevitable. You know what I'm saying? Like, something is not going to go as planned. So whether you gotta see how they pivot. How well do they adjust?
Yeah.
And then how do they handle that in the moment stuff? Are they nasty to you?
Yeah.
Are
You
they
know what I'm
nasty to
saying?
the waiter? You ever been with somebody and they just didn't know how to talk to the waiter?
Yeah.
I know. I base, honestly, my friendship standards on this. I guess I've thought about these 8 things a little bit more than I thought I have, but in the back of my head, talking about people,
Right.
as opposed to really writing it down for what I want. But these are all really, really good points. I think one of the bigger things on there for me is always like spirituality. That's like number 1 for me. You guys know that.
Yes.
But I also do think that the trust and commitment, right?
Right.
People have very different ideas of what that looks like, especially when it comes to being in a relationship.
Absolutely.
Some people are like, I know we were having a conversation last week off camera about if somebody went out of town for a week.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this was a couple weeks ago. If they went out of town for a week and they were your partner, if that was okay, I would be like, I don't care. You know, like, stay too. If you're having a great time and having fun. And then other people are just like, Why do you need to be? I think you
I
were the one
just
that
need
said
to
that.
know the why. You know,
See?
what are
Yeah.
you doing there that you can't do here? You know, like
Right, but I guess that's a level of commitment, right?
Right.
That I would not deem personally as a flag on the play, but I guess, for other people it's different.
Yeah,
So being mindful of those boundaries.
I think trust and commitment, especially, this is a very telling topic. Like in the book, it asks questions like, how was commitment modeled for you in childhood? You know what I'm saying?
That's
What
really
did you
good.
see? How did you see the commitment between your parents? If they were married, what
Or
did you
lack
see?
thereof.
Yes, it asks. And
That is a really good question.
it opens the door to these ongoing conversations that people just don't have.
No.
And, it allows you to actually make a very informed decision walking into that marriage door,
Well, even in the dating door, though, too.
For sure.
yeah.
Because would you guys take somebody seriously? Like, when you said them out loud, and would you mind going through them one more time? Just
Absolutely. Absolutely. 1, trust and commitment, addressing conflict,
So, okay.
sex and intimacy. 4, work and money. 5, family. 6, fun and adventure. 7, growth and spirituality. 8, dreams.
That's really good. And I guess like you hear them out loud, and you start to think like, I've definitely thought about
Yeah.
these things before.
Right.
But I guess when you talk about really assessing it alongside the person that you're with, it really does kind of go into even what we were talking about last week on how well can you assess when there are other things at play?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's good too because
Yes.
now what I'm starting to think about is you could have a conversation with somebody about all of these things, but that doesn't always match their actions to it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you could say, "Oh yeah, I got a lot of dreams. I want to be the CEO and I want to do this or I want to climb the corporate ladder," but you sleep 14 hours a day and you on the Xbox or PS5 or whatever the guys are still doing.
The game.
The game. They playing the game or they got the new 2K.
Ooh, not the game.
So I
Darn
think
it.
when we consider dating and who we date, it's a lot of what they do versus what they say based off of those things. Somebody can say they're adventurous, but are they really? Somebody can say, "Oh, I prioritize family," but you ain't called your mama in 2 weeks. So there are certain things that I like to see versus just hear about.
That's so good. I should also mention here that the 8 Dates book, it's like it lists these questions. You can download the PDF that accompanies the book, and it has the questions. And the idea is that everyone answers the questions on their personal time, and then you
Nice.
have meetings at specified places to discuss your findings. But it's meant to really encourage people to take that deep dive and tap into it. Like, what was the first commitment that you witnessed in your life? Like, it's taking you back to that, to the really, molecular level of like relationships and what you've witnessed and what you're bringing into that relationship.
When is the right time to bring those type of molecular, I like that word, molecular topics up?
I'm gonna say this is courting. At this point, we've decided.
Yeah.
We've decided, like, okay, yeah, we're
We
on
go
track.
together.
We going. You know what I'm saying?
We
So
go together.
let's
Hold
really
my hand.
let's get
Absolutely.
into this now.
Yeah. I think any other time before that is kind of a little,
A little premature.
yeah, a little premature. And I think also too, do you know if it has something on there where you can actually rank even
Like the
the
importance of each one?
importance of them? Because some people have a very different look on money and finances as well, where they might look at money, they might hold it as a higher standard than the other person. So if
Yeah.
you're materialistic and you like money and that's all you care about, and I don't,
See, luckily there is no ranking.
okay, not luckily.
Because that, of course, that would mean that one person's approach is wrong,
Right.
and one is right or superior to the other when they're all just approaches, and you need to know this about your partner.
Got it.
So definitely want to encourage all of our viewers to really tap into this book, 8 Dates by Doctors John and Julie Gottman, Doug and Rachel Abrams, and stay tuned. Stay right there. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
What's What's up, House of Hope? It's the Flavor King, and welcome back to Cooking with Flavor KL. You know what time it is. It's time for me to show you how to make chili.
But definitely one of my favorite moments of this season.
Oh my God.
Look, and Maria is turning red over here.
Right. He just went in on me for real. I'm like, oh my God.
How do you decide what is a priority at the moment versus something that you can complete at a later date?
What feels right in the moment? Because sometimes it's like, okay, this is really high on my priority list, but I really just don't feel like it. But I think that in order to be productive is like, do what's best for what you feel like in the moment. So if this easier task is easier for you, do that and then tackle the harder task.
Welcome back to this final segment of the season, y'all. Oh my gosh, can you believe it?
Whoa.
Teary eyes. So we had to make this one good.
Uh-oh.
So we've talked all season about ourselves and how we're trying to continuously evolve in our walk with God and our relationships with others as we remain single in the city.
Yes.
And I think we should close out with a little manifestation piece.
I love it.
So Justin, I want to start with you. Do you know what you want, and could you speak on that for us?
I'm glad you asked. You know, after being out of a relationship for the last year or so, it's really given me that time to focus on myself.
Okay.
And take a moment to write the vision and be very intentional about what it is that I desire. And I actually did it. I was scrolling Instagram, and I passed a page that some of y'all probably follow, Spiritual Word. Y'all
Okay.
follow that?
Love them.
Spiritual Word.
I thought you was going to say Justin LeBoy, but we'll go with that one tonight. Yes, okay.
Him too.
You know what I'm saying? I basically follow him because I see all his stuff on y'all's pages. But let's see. I saw a post on Spiritual Word, and it said, you know, you're manifesting a partner, and gave some really brief stuff. But that inspired me to do a deep dive and really think about what it is that would be a blessing to me.
Don't tell me you have your own Sierra prayer.
Is this the Justin prayer?
It's the Justin prayer?
I hope you're ready.
Come on.
Let's hear
then.
it, Bishop.
Buckle up. I am manifesting a partner who's going to be my best friend and the best lovemaking I've ever had. She is going to be emotionally and financially stable, loyal, and generous. Additionally, we will consistently experience elite level, effective communication. She'll have an accommodating spirit, zeal for life and fitness, as well as homemaking. She'll have an incomparable love for God and family. She will have a clear understanding of my purpose individually as well as our collective purpose. We will support and assist each other intentionally, wholeheartedly. Our home will be full of peace, fun, love, amazing meals, and experiences. We will add to each other's lives exponentially. I give thanks. It now manifests under grace in a perfect way.
Wow.
Amen.
That's,
Now that's a prayer.
that's my manifesting prayer.
Are you supposed to clap after prayer?
You're supposed to snap
Amen.
out
Is
of
that a
that. This
thing?
is some Love Jones.
Amen. I said, wow, that was really, really good and very detailed too.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think you got to be. It's about the details. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because, you know, a good wife ain't enough.
Now let me ask you a question. What have you experienced in life so far that made everything that you wrote in that important to you?
I have been blessed. I've had some really good girlfriends. And it's really kind of thinking through my experiences and the things that I appreciated most and some things that I had not yet experienced that I know would be like a blessing to me and fulfilling and something that would have me pleased at home, just feeling like a king and able to be my best self and actually a good husband, like support my wife, like make her feel loved and pushed, like I want it
Well,
all.
here, I gotta be the one to ask.
Okay.
All right? I
Here
just
we
gotta
go.
be the one to ask. Have you done an assessment though to make sure that what you're asking for matches with what you bring, like a reflective kind of like prayer for yourself?
Absolutely. I think you have to, you've got to be able to offer comparable things if you're gonna ask for something. Like, for instance, I don't cook well, okay? But I do follow instructions well. So my wife would need to kind of be more of the chef. But I can assist and I enjoy learning. So it creates a situation where she won't be by herself and I likely wash the dishes, you know what I'm saying? So it's about the balance. Like everybody's not gonna have everything. And if we're completely honest, like some of our best qualities also have a little shadow on them. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a negative slant to things. Like I'm extremely creative. So sometimes organizational things might kind of, slip through the cracks. So I need a woman that's strong there that can help me devise a plan. Implementation, I'm great with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of knowing what you bring and knowing what's gonna tighten up those places that you need to grow.
Well, sounds like she's on the way.
Oh, absolutely.
That's actually really extremely reflective. And it brought me to something kind of as you were talking, that I think sometimes the imbalance between being single, especially if we're talking about the Venus and Mars perspective of men versus women, right? Is that sometimes what we're asking for is not always in alignment with what we bring.
Right.
And that's why I asked that question. And I think it happens on both sides of the equation for women and men, and, we hear it all the time about women kind of talking about what men aren't. And we hear a lot of the times now men being more vocal with, certain YouTube shows and things like that.
I ain't gonna say no names.
Right.
Oh, 7 Camuels? Oh, yeah, I heard it.
Oh, yeah, him. But men being very vocal about, kind of what they want. But I think what is awesome and, very commendable with you and what you just did is having that balance of what you're looking for and making sure it matches with the assessment that you've made of yourself.
Right.
And I don't think you can really look for something from someone else until you've made an accurate, in-depth, positive, and negative assessment of yourself. You got to be real with you about that. So that was really good.
Thank
I
you
love
so
it.
much.
Love
So
it.
Genesis, I have to throw it at you now. Do you know what you want?
I'll be honest, and not like that. But you know what? That's one thing that I can honestly say about this show. And when I go back to my best qualities, I can assess when there are areas of opportunities for me, right?
Okay.
Yes.
So there might be some of you at home saying that don't exactly know what you want right now. And I'm going to tell myself, it's okay, girl. That's fine. But let's go home. And we got some research and some work to do before we get to season 7.
Right.
So,
No.
Well, I'll ask you, do you have it written down? You got your prayer?
I do not have my prayer because I think I've just spent so much time within the past year trying to figure out what my prayer for myself is, and my relationship with God and what that looks like on this single walk. So I haven't gotten that far to really figure out what exactly I want from someone else. But I think the more, again, I get to learn me, I know what I don't want.
Yeah.
So I think that's a start.
That's a good start.
Because at least, even if I'm not too sure of everything that, or the deal breakers that I can live with or live without, I do know what I can't live with. So that's a start for me.
Well, yeah.
You know?
And but I think the important thing in what you just said is even like, that you realize that's half the battle, you know? Like that you do have to find the things like that you want in a person too. And I'm just happy because I'll be honest, I have not been, I don't think, seriously dating anybody, right?
Okay.
For about like a year. Okay. So I think it just kind of is one of those things where it's not really hit home for me yet because that's not something that I've been actively doing. Right. But I think if, you know, and especially for you guys at home, if you're actively dating someone seriously throughout the phases and the stages we've talked about, that is something very important to know.
Yeah. So I think we're all manifesting something, whatever period of life that we are all in, whether you're single, currently dating, or looking at marriage. I think we're all manifesting something, you know?
Yeah.
And that's, for me, it's always peace. You know, is somebody going to bring me peace, or are they going to bring me more peace than I currently have?
Girl,
single.
Say that.
With God, you know,
Say
that's
that.
important.
Say that.
Are you going to be his peace, though?
I guess we're going to have to check back next season to find out, aren't we?
I'm saying, it's always that.
We will find out on the next episode.
I got you, fellas. You know what I'm saying? I got us.
Always the peace.
Well, look, we are so excited, and we have had, I think I speak for everyone when I say we have had an awesome time doing this show for this season. This has been by far our best season that we've done together. Happy to have Justin Gilbert join us on our team. We'll be happy to see you guys next season. But for now, if you have any videos or you have any pictures or anything like that, make sure that you send them to us. We want to hear about your story and your journey as you are single in the city.
Yes.
You can email them to marketing@gtrbc.org. Look forward to seeing you guys. And until next time, remember, being single doesn't mean that you're lonely. It just means that you're on a journey to finding yourself and your peace within God.
Amen.
We love you and have a great night.
You're my lucky strike. Love the way you ride. Look into my eyes, say you're ready to go. $1 million life, we could roll the dice. Act like you surprised, but you already know. You're my lucky strike.